What's up, everybody? Rinde from Ask Rinde, your #1 community for foreclosure, income, and credit. So I'm here today in beautiful Weehawken, and just basically going for a walk after church. So today I want to talk to you about no mortgage real estate, and I actually got to thinking about this because this week I locked up 2 properties under contract for $3,000. Yes, that's here in North Jersey, $3,000. And I wanted to basically share not only the idea and the concept of no mortgage real estate, but the benefits of it. I think we've seen now with the pandemic and the turn down that most people's stress level have gone through the roof. And that's primarily because they have these obligations, these monthly obligations. And for the majority of us, the biggest debt, the biggest obligation that we have monthly or annually is our mortgages. And so the concept of having no mortgage, having no obligation, not having to come up with the money, whether you have to get a property that you're responsible for, going out to work and pay for the mortgage, or get rental property or investment property and have your tenants pay it to meet an obligation, is something that many of us don't conceptualize, that we don't fathom. But the more and more I dig into this, and I've realized over the years that the ultimate solution that we all need to reach towards is really being debt free and having no mortgage. Now, does that mean that you're going to be able to acquire property without getting a mortgage? No. What it does mean is that there are ways, there are different options, there are different available avenues that you can take in order to not only, number one, if you're looking to buy property without a mortgage, but number two, if you already have property and you have a mortgage, how to actually pay that mortgage down and get out of debt. And so these 2 properties I actually got through a tax sale, and I'm going to make a decision of whether or not I'm going to keep the property or whether or not I'm going to sell them for a profit before I even do anything, or I may develop on the property. It all depends, but I have the options to be able to do those things. And I also can actually take those properties and put them in a trust for my girls, my little girls, my twins, so that they can do something and have more land, more real estate in the future. There again, I'm at a place where I have options because I have no mortgage. So there are 3 ways that you can actually buy real estate with no mortgage. Number 1 is buying properties cheap. Number 2 is using other people's money, OPM. And number 3 is actually buying property without using your own money and also your own credit. So there are many ways to be able to go about doing this, but these 3 is what I'm going to be sharing with you in the next few videos when I share with you more about no mortgage real estate. Now, before we actually get into the steps that you need to take and the plan of action that you need to put in place in order to be able to get no mortgage real estate, what I will share is that we need to look at the intangibles, meaning what seeds are you sowing. I always talk about Genesis 8:22 here on my channel, where the scripture says, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, meaning that everything that we're doing in life is a seed. You are a seed. The things that you're doing is a seed. And so oftentimes when I reflect on my years of dealing with real estate and also dealing with not only foreclosure and distress, helping people, but also learning these principles of how to get properties for $3,000, how to access distressed properties, off-market properties, and build a real estate portfolio, what I've found is that the way you treat people and the seeds that you sow along the way, they go a long way. A lot of times we ignore that. We ignore the intangible. We ignore the things that are not numbers, so to speak. So people think that, yes, because you know how to invest in real estate and you know how to actually do deals, you can treat people anyhow, you can screw them over. And I'm here to tell you that that's wrong. You need to be able to understand that the seeds that you sow in life, at some point, it'll come back to you. And so the Bible says that the liberal soul will be made fat. What that basically means is that even if you're in a situation where you are in distress, or let's say you're down, you don't have the money at this time, well, what are you doing? What are you doing with your time now? Who are you helping while you're down? When I was down, I didn't have anything together. I didn't have all the knowledge that I have about real estate, foreclosure, distress that I have now. There was a point in time in my life where even in that timeline, I actually was helping people. I would reach out and see who I can help with the limited knowledge that I had at that time. And I would help families, I would help people around just to basically sow the right seeds. And so what I want to share with you is that you want to make sure that you are in the mind frame of being able to sow the proper seeds of helping. A lot of times we focus too much on our own issues and we never think of who's around us that can actually benefit from help that we can easily give. So you want to keep that in mind and make sure that you actually have that as a part of your growth. 2 Corinthians 9:6 says that if you sow abundantly, you're going to reap abundantly. And if you sow sparingly, you're also going to reap sparingly. So I put so many seeds in the ground to help people along the way throughout my entire process of dealing with real estate, that when it came time, when I got into a situation where I needed help and I was in foreclosure in 2007, the help came, the harvest came, because I had sown into so many families all around the country, hundreds and hundreds of families, helping them. So when it came time for my need and when I needed help, God made a way for me. And what I want to share with you is that you need to have that and understand that that's very important. With everything that's going on right now, that with the pandemic, with people being uncertain about their jobs and their future, in spite of what it seems like that you don't have, sow the right seeds. Because what will happen is that the harvest is on its way. All of us are seeds. So we are sowing our life into whatever, a business, a family, and we're sowing ourselves into whatever we're pursuing. But seed also becomes soil one day. So remember, whenever you take a seed and you put it in the ground, that seed breaks apart, and that seed then turns into soil. And that's what you want. You want to be able to become such a sower, such a giver, such generosity and liberally, that you actually become good soil. You don't want to be bad soil, you want to be good soil. So these are prerequisites that I feel are a good foundation to what I'm going to be sharing here about no mortgage real estate. Many times I know that when we learn about real estate and we learn about strategies of how to invest and how to actually position ourselves, most times it's the mechanicals. We know that you got to do mailings. We know that you got to do cold calling. We know that you have to do maybe ads and all these other things that will generate and bring you in business. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're dealing with the intangibles. These are things that, most people don't talk about. Don't treat people badly. Don't screw them over, because it comes back to you later on. I never have to actually look over my shoulder in the 18 years I've been in this game, simply because I did business where I didn't have to look over my shoulder. So just think about it. If you had no mortgage real estate, if you had no mortgage to deal with on a monthly, on an annual basis, you would eliminate so many different things. You wouldn't have a mortgage. You wouldn't have a mortgage company to deal with. You wouldn't have investors trying to buy your properties for pennies on a dollar. You wouldn't have to actually deal with so much of the stress that so many of us deal with on an annual basis. And it kind of eliminates a lot of things. And so I want to actually share more about no mortgage real estate, because when I actually have processed the whole thing, I realized the biggest way to defeat foreclosure is by having no mortgage. That's the best thing. And only a percentage, I would say probably about 39 to 40% of Americans actually have properties with no mortgage on them. Some of them may be their primary residence. Some of them may have no mortgage on secondary properties or investment properties. But the goal really is to have strategy all around, where you can probably be strategic on which properties you want to have a mortgage on and how you want to hold it. Those are the things that I want to share with you. I want to be able to give you options as to what to do, where to employ mortgages and where to not have mortgages, and how it can be advantageous to you. Ultimately, you want to be in a position where you control not having a mortgage on your real estate. And for most people that I've dealt with over the years, that is their biggest issue, the mortgage. That is the biggest causes for financial problems, the stress, the cause for divorces, on and on. People having to really much mortgage their lives for these jobs in order to be able to hold on to these properties. So if you don't have a mortgage, that eliminates all of that. So looking forward to sharing more with you on this one. We're going to be doing much more in the academy and giving you more details on it. But just keep in mind the 3 that I share with you here on this video. And what I want to do is I want to get interaction from you. I want to be able to find out from you guys what you would like me to share about, because I don't want to just do videos and not know, okay, this is what I would like to hear about from him. So please share that below, leave a comment below, and also you can email me. My email is askrindenetwork@gmail.com. Look forward to sharing more with you guys. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.